Bruce Buffer here, and we're being broadcast around the world. Thanks everyone for joining us on the Solar Objections live action role play. I have the pleasure to introduce a big UFC fan, fellow poker player, Solar Pro, and my friend, Solar Joe.
We are back this week on another episode of the Solar Objections live stream, and we have a super special guest, Mr. Luigi Leon, who has been in solar for the last 15 years, is a serial entrepreneur. He is known as the Solar Preacher. We are going to be talking climate change today and a little Q&A, but Luigi, thanks so much for being on, man.
Thank you, my man, Solar Joe. It's a pleasure. It's an honor. It's a blessing for me to be able to, preach and share the gospel of solar. And I thank you for allowing me to be here tonight and share, the good news with people, right?
Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. Everybody watching, this is not a topic we talk a lot about. We should, and we are going to be talking about it today. So please, this is the time, the opportunity. Get in the comment section, ask questions, throw objection in, throw a hello, how you doing? Thanks for being here. Whatever it is, get in the comment section. Let's engage. But if you want your name shown, make sure you go to the bottom of the post, click on the StreamYards link, or it won't show your name, or just say Facebook user. All right. All right. So today we are have an honor. So this past weekend, I had the privilege to hear Mr. Luigi Leon preach about climate change and solar, and I was blown away. And first thing I said, hey, Luigi, I have to get you on the live stream and talk, preach, and let our audience know your passion and what's going on. So Luigi, are you okay with doing a little preach for us today?
It'll be my pleasure and honor, and to share and to speak about what I'm passionate about. So yes, thank you, Joe. I'm definitely ready, my man.
Let's go.
Let's go. All right. So we're good. You tell me, you ready to rumble?
Let's go. Your stage, baby.
Thank you. Well, Joe, again, thank you for inviting me. Thank you for having me here this evening, and for your lovely audience. For everybody that doesn't know me, my name is Gilberto Luigi Leon, originally from the beautiful island of Puerto Rico. Moved to the United States when I was, close to 15 years old. And something that I've always been passionate about, is helping others, is being a blessing in other people's lives. I've always had that empathetic, spirit from a very young age. And I went into ministry, to just, give you a little your story about me. And I'm just thankful to God that I came into solar, 2005. My wife being a green architect, her and I, went to a conference, a architecture interior design conference, and they spoke about solar, and it got my interest. But it got my interest, not talking about what we today are seeing the interest of solar, which is mostly monetarily, but to definitely see the impact that the human beings were having on Mother Earth and what was going on, with fracking, and every time that we pull oil out of the earth, and I like to start by saying that I had a vision once, and it's one of the reasons that I'm so passionate about this message. But I envisioned, the world, the earth being just like a human being. And every time that we took oil out of the earth, we were taking blood out of the human being's body. So in the same way that we're literally sucking, the oil out of the earth, and we're seeing all the consequences that we're living through right now, it's the same vision that God gave me as far as a human body being sucked out of its blood. And to me, I woke up like, wow. That is exactly the way, the image that, when we need to think and speak in pictures, that is the picture that I want you guys to understand, and why I'm so passionate about this cause is that, just like we were part of the problem, we are the problem, we can also be part of team solution. And that's exactly what solar energy, renewable energies, God has given us the sun from day one. Obviously, there's greed and all these different interests that we can speak about that I'm not going to go into, that have kept I guess, the consumers in the world from really knowing about the renewable energy sources. And, you know, like they say, that they want to keep you ignorant on all of it until it's too late. And I believe that we're now living in a crisis. We're living in a crisis in the world where we're seeing more and more storms. We're seeing more and more floods. We're seeing more and more things that are out of our control literally affect us in a very, very big way, and not in a good way. Because little by little, we're seeing that all these effects are not just killing people, but killing every type of species that you can think of, you know, on Earth. Today, as you're living today, 24 hours, 100 species died and are extinct now on Earth. And I want you guys to really take that in consideration. Wow. What do you mean that every day there's 100 species being extinct on Earth? Yes. The CO2 levels right now on Earth are literally higher than they've been in 2 million years. All right. I want you guys to understand that think of that. You know, the human is adaptable. We've been able to adapt, and obviously with science and medicines and everything, we've been able, but there's other species that haven't been able to adapt to the CO2 rise and the change in climate, the change in the air that we breathe. You know, this is huge. This is something we don't talk about. We get up on the stages, and, you know, I was talking to Joe that, you know, I'm blessed and highly favored. And I'm thankful today that I earned, you know, 7 figures plus in the solar energy industry. And what a great thing that we can get up on stage and talk about money and talk about how great it is. But to me, for me personally, the money that I've been able to gain has been a result of me living a purpose-driven life. And when you think about, you know, our industry, you think about the solar industry, what is it? What is the outcome? What is the goal? You know, we're living a purpose-driven business where our purpose is to save humanity, believe it or not. That's the goal. Our purpose is to leave this world better than we found it. Our purpose is to really help people become consciously aware of the effects of climate change and how we're a part of it and how we can be part of Team Solution. And the minimum thing that you can do as a homeowner is to put solar on your rooftop. That's it. I tell people, what's the minimum thing that I can do, Luigi? I hear this all the time. What's the minimum thing I can do? Put solar on your house. Oh, I don't have a house. I live in an apartment. Okay, are you recycling? Are you trying to eat organic? Are you trying to cut out? There's so many things that we can do to live the green life. And I'm gonna go into the details. We all can really pretty much, you know, understand what it is. But the minimum thing that I particularly believe in is solar. And it's being passionate about this message, being passionate about what we're doing every day to really help others understand what a blessing it is to go solar. You know, not only is it a monetary blessing for everybody that you come in contact with, because as you know, you're saving people money, you're raising property value, that there's an incentive out there from the federal government that's helping you pay 26% of the cost. And this is all, in most cases, zero out of pocket. I mean, it's wonderful, but we need to get away from the intention of getting paid to the intention of being a blessing. And once you change that intention, I guarantee you that your business will grow more than you've ever, you know, even intended it for it to grow, because people tend to feel that energy. People tend to feel that this person's here to bless me, to help me, not really just to sell me something. All right. And the industry has gotten, you know, very distorted message out there, because I really believe that everything that I'm hearing is all about money, 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 money. And listen, guys, I know money's as important as the air that we breathe, right? But understand that we won't be able to enjoy that money if we don't do something about global change and climate control right now. And that's what we're doing. We're controlling the climate by helping people understand that there's better ways, you know, to live, you know, their lives. And definitely solar, again, is the minimum thing that we can do, guys. And what we're out there to do is be a messenger of light. I said it, you know, this weekend, and I said every time I get up on stage, I don't consider myself a salesperson. I tell people all the time, you know, hide your pocketbooks. I don't come to sell you anything. I'm just going to come to expand your awareness. I come to be a blessing in your life. All right. And that's what it's all about. That is my intention today. And thankfully, my business keeps on growing and growing and growing and growing, because once people see that you really are trying to help them, they're going to continue to refer you. More and more people want to join your organization. More and more people want to do joint ventures with you. That's just a part of the results of you doing what God called you to do and doing it the right way. All right. And that's my message today. So again, thank you, Joe, for allowing me to preach a little bit. I know we have, some questions, some things we want to go back and forth with, but I definitely want everybody to understand that's here today, because I know most everybody here is in the solar industry primarily because of money. All right. But I want you guys to really understand the real ministry, or the real great message behind this. And this is not about religion. Please remove religion from this. I call myself the solar preacher because I'm preaching the good news. I'm helping people understand there's a better way. And that is the message of the solar preacher. And that is what I do every day. Just preach the gospel of solar. Thank you. God bless. Talk to Joe.
Man, we need more like you and more preaching the wisdom we need to really, help the people live on this planet longer. But I had a couple of questions just before we get to the Q&A, actually based on climate change, because it's a touchy subject, right? And there's political, we're not going to talk politics, but there's political sides and political things. And how do we get across the homeowner without choosing a political side, how important climate change is? I know it's a difficult question, but I figure you could be the one to answer that one.
I'm sorry, rephrase it again. How do we
approach homeowners about climate change without making it political?
I love it, because, it doesn't matter. I tell everybody, it doesn't matter where you're Republican, where you're independent, where you're a Democrat. It doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on. The facts are the facts. All right. It's happening. We're seeing it. We're seeing that every year, we're seeing colder winters, or we're seeing hotter summers, and it's getting worse and worse and worse and worse. Big, tornadoes, earthquakes. Guys, it's happening in front of your eyes. And if I can show somebody that since 2003, the cost of energy, nationwide has doubled, and it's tend to doubling again by 2030. What's going to happen? Most people, it's all about facts. You can think about it monetarily, or you can think about it literally, in a conscious way as to how can I help the world be better, right? So I tell people, financially, let me show you the numbers. Let me save you money. This is the benefit financially. Oh, you're talking about Mother Earth, how you want to be a blessing to Mother Earth. Well, let me also show you what you're doing as well. So again, it doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on, guys. Going solar is the best thing every homeowner can do. And you're the messenger to make them happen.
Is there ever a time where you're leading with climate change, or are you always leading with the monetary and then making sure they know that this is also good for the environment?
It's funny because, that's a good question. And it's always about building rapport with the customer. You almost tend to feel out people, right? Because you ask them that first question, oh, what interested you in solar? And you can tend to say, I don't believe too much in solar. Or, oh, I'm looking to save some money. I know it's great. Or I heard about, my neighbor went solar and they're doing great, and they're paying no money basically on their electric costs. They're only paying $150 for the solar. I see this all the time. So there's good news, there's bad news, there's everything. So I always lead with the facts, right? So obviously what interests you in solar is to save money. We'll talk about that as well. But before I leave that customer's home, they have heard about why I'm passionate about this and why what they're doing is good for Mother Earth overall, obviously apart from their pocket. So generally I tend to speak about it all. It just depends on the customer. Oh, I need to save, this is crazy. I lost, some of my income, they cut hours, whatever it may be. So those are the things that, all right, let's talk about the monetary. And at the same time, why are you doing this overall? And the whole picture, I'm not a person that I'm more about impacting than imposing. And I talk about that, I like to impose about why climate change and why this, and you need to do it. No. Because people be like, wow, this guy's a freaking crazy green freak. No, I go in with the facts little by little. And in my proposal, I'm always showing them, since 2003, how the energy cost has doubled and look what's happening. And by you going solar, look how your property value can, bring up value and this. Oh, wow. You're always focusing on the benefits, but the benefits are going to talk about everything if you really explain it correctly. It's not just going to be the money. It's really what you're doing for Mother Earth in the long run. And we're leaving this world a better place than we found it. And that's what, my hope is.
You're 100% right. I think as solar pros in the industry, we need to do a better job of interweaving the climate change issues and things good for the environment into our presentation. Not to be so one-dimensional in our presentation, because there's probably a lot more homeowners that are really into climate change without actually being overt about it, that we're not really touching on that subject.
I mean, Joe, I am a true believer that almost every news station, every newspaper should have on their front page, should have on their main topic every night, every morning, climate war and climate change, and how the world is dying, how the largest forest fires are right now happening in the north, how you're seeing that coral reefs are dying everywhere all over the world, but nobody's speaking about really how the earth is dying in front of our eyes. We're focusing about the consumption. We're focusing about, the glamour, which is all great and dandy. For those that know me, I like to live a good life. But I really believe that media needs to start focusing on really what's important. And it's not a political thing. It's not a religious thing. It's about humans. It's a human thing. All right. How do we save humanity? I don't care what color you are, what race you are, what religion you are. You bleed red, I bleed red, and I'm here trying to save you and your family and your legacy and your generations to come. Because if we don't do something about it today, there will be nothing to speak about it in 100 years.
That's why I wanted you on the show, man, because we need to get this word out, even though it's common knowledge and we talk about it through the whispers, but we don't talk about it on stage and loud and proud. And I think we should as a solar community. So thank you for being the preacher, being out there for us to do it. So we have a little more time. We got done a little bit early. Is it cool if we do that Q&A?
Let's go. Let's go with it, Marty. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I think the Q&A is obviously going to give people, more info as well. So let's do it.
All right. So everybody watching, this is your chance now. Get in the comment section, ask questions. And it doesn't only have to be about climate change. It could be solar. Luigi is also a serial entrepreneur, business questions, whatever you think you feel like asking, get in there, get in the comments. So before I ask you some of the questions, I'm getting in the comments and see what we're talking about here real quick. Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
Mr. Eddie Fernandez says, hey, Luigi, thank you for helping the community with your knowledge.
Amen. Thank you, my friend. It's my blessing, my honor.
Facebook user clapping for you. All right. So we have here, Facebook user wanted to say, Christian Puerto Rican here too, 50%. Right on. Amen. Fantastic. Refreshing conversation and point of view on solar. A break from the financial talk only. Very good.
There you go. There we go. There we go. And that's so important, it really is, because I know nowadays I speak to so many people at conferences or when I travel, and it's all about, the money, the money, the money, the money, the money. Guys, the money's great, but you got to lead with purpose if you really want to have sustained success. That's what I can teach you and tell you from my experience in this industry. It's about being consistent and really being passionate, because I'll tell you this, Joe, most people would have not held on 15 years in this industry. I didn't start making money till like 5 years ago. For 10 years, it was my hobby. For 10 years, I spent probably close to $1 million in my solar business, before I became profitable. All right. So I'm telling you that this is a passion thing. This is about really wanting to do something for Mother Earth and save lives. People always ask me about the solar preacher, right? Where does solar preacher come from? I know that's a question that you had also coming on. And it's because I have a past in ministry. I went into ministry at a young age. I sang Christian music. I led worship. I was a youth pastor. I've always had a heart for the youth. And when I came into obviously solar, I included my ministry and the passion for people, my empathy, to really intertwine within my business and my message, to understand that, listen, I'm here doing something that's first purposeful, that's gaining me financial, obviously, freedom, but that I'm helping the world actually do something, which the outcome is to save the earth. So understand that there's no better business to be in. There just isn't. You're literally being a blessing. You're helping people, and at the same time, you're monetizing, every relationship, every interaction you have with somebody. I tell everybody, if they don't become a solar customer, they should become a consultant or a lead generation for you, because this is something about everybody needs to be a messenger of the solar industry, of the solar game, what we're doing. This is a blessing to everybody we come in contact. Oh, you live in an apartment? I bet you know people that own homes. Oh, you can't be a solar consultant. You can be an ambassador. Just refer people to me and we'll pay you, whatever, $1,000, $15, whatever your company pays, whatever you guys do. Guys, this is a huge opportunity for you to monetize every single relationship, because everybody, one, is looking for extra money, and two, this is not something that sounds salesy. I'm not trying to sell you a potion that's going to help you lose 30 pounds in 1 month, or I'm not going to sell you a potion that's going to help you grow some hair. No, I'm selling you something which is, it's just education and wisdom for you to have a better tomorrow for you and your family. You're saving humanity. You're being a blessing. You're giving people something that they really, really need. It's not a luxury. It's a necessity. And now it's become something that of utmost, need to sustain humanity. I mean, what more incredible purpose-driven business than the solar industry, guys?
If you're going to preach anything, I can't think of anything better than solar.
Let's go.
We got some more comments in here I want to get to. The solar reality, I want to say, Super Luigi, my friend, you're doing great. Even had a comment for me. Joe, good look. All right. Thank you. But the solar reality, I want you to be on their show. Contact me to make an interview on my TV show. Look at us. We're making things happen on the show today.
That's it. Let's go.
Eric Garcia said, fire.
My boy, Eric, love you, brother. Love you.
Shout out, Eric.
Yes, yes.
Man, I love that picture, his profile picture too.
Damn.
Everybody in there.
Crew right there.
So we got a question from a Facebook user. We won't know the name till we see the post, but he wants to know, or she wants to know, what's your why?
My why is primarily going deep is to save lives, to save, humanity. And that's why it's so passionate for me that I know I've been called into ministry. And for a long time, I didn't feel associated with the religious, connotation. And I never wanted to be imprisoned by a title. I want you to understand that every time someone calls me a preacher, they imprison me because they automatically think that I'm this Christian, goody two-shoes that they can't act a certain way around, or they can't talk certain things around. Well, no, I never wanted to be imprisoned by a title. And that's why I always wanted to kind of leave or break religious boundaries. I'm preaching here to save the world, to save humanity. And I'm hoping that people can connect with my message and understand that this is real. This is real. This is no BS. This is not about anything else but to really make this world a better place. My why is my daughter, primarily. Every time I see, and I look into her eyes and she speaks to me, it's like my responsibility is to make sure that I leave this world a better place for her and my future children and my grandchildren. So me knowing that I can be part of Team Solution, you damn well better understand that I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that before I leave this earth, before God takes me home, I've done everything I can to basically get the message of solar and save humanity.
I'm on Team Solution too, by the way, so I love it. Let's go.
Amen. Let's go.
We got some more comments. Mr. Peter Bronwasher said, Luigi, preach.
Let's go.
He also said, not a luxury, a necessity.
That's right.
All right, we got a question here. It's a pretty good question, so be ready, man. Facebook user wants to know, what are your favorite environmental one-liners to build emotion and close the customer at the end of your presentation? Pretty tough question.
I know. Wow. What are my favorite environmental one-liners? Code red for humanity. Very, very simple. Literally we're living code red, guys. And I know that, it's kind of like an eerie subject, but I hope that every solar representative here tonight has read the UN report. If you haven't read the UN report, I said it on stage, it's like you being a Christian without reading the Bible. All right? You need to understand why we do what we do and what's going on. And definitely, code red for humanity. What we're doing right now is literally helping, humanity get closer to a solution. Because I'm gonna tell you guys, the studies say that, there's things that are irreversible. Like we're backtracking a lot of things, and we're not going as fast as we expected to go and having everybody come in. And that's because the media has not allowed this message to be expanded. All right. And that's why you have all these conglomerates and all these huge, industries that obviously have fossil fuel interests, and they don't want our message to get out there. but it's our duty, it's our responsibility. And that's why I saw it hand in hand with my ministry that, wow, I need to get out there and be and speak in as many stages as I can get on to create the awareness of really what's happening to Mother Earth. You know, at the same time, we're part of Team Solution, and being in the solar industry, we're making more millionaires than any other industry because people are becoming aware of what we need to do to become, you know, better citizens, better human beings, and leave this world a better place. That's exactly what's happening, and we're all part of this movement. So keep spreading the news, keep spreading the word. And yeah, my favorite environmental is just, yeah, code red for humanity. You understand that over 100 species are being extinct every single day here on Earth. And we're part of Team Solution. And the minimum thing you can do is put basically solar on your roof. So thank you, Miss or Mr. Homeowner. Thank you.
Code red. You can't beat that one-liner.
Right?
So I know we're talking climate change, but you are such an experienced solar pro. Like, I don't know anybody else that has 15 years experience in solar. So you've seen the industry change over the years. Can you give a little bit of feedback of what you've seen in the last 15 years and how we are today?
Wow. I guess awareness, you know, for the last 15 years, guys, I used to put on solar conferences with my own dime in the Caribbean and Puerto Rico. I did it in Miami, and it was literally, you know, it was almost like, you know, that green guy, that crazy guy, you know, trying to sell us on solar, because solar was expensive. And we didn't have financing for solar, you know, 10 years ago. Straight up, you know, if you didn't have the money, you weren't going solar. So to have the benefits that we have today, to have the price period that we have today, that we can actually offer renewable energy, that we can offer solar energy cheaper than what you're paying to rent dirty energy, one, all right, to be able to take it into the message of the masses. Because I used to be able, maybe, you know, and this is funny, I tell people that what I close now in a week, I used to close a year. All right. So there was years that we would maybe do 10, 12 installs, and that was a great year, guys. All right. And now we're doing that a week. So you're thinking about the advancement, the awareness. You know, I know that, you know, I tell people all the time, Tesla came into the game and made renewable energy sexy. All right. Everybody wanted the electric vehicle. Everybody wanted the battery in their house. Well, what happened? That created, I guess, people wanted to know a little bit more about what? The technology. People wanted to know more about solar energy. People wanted to know about green. So Elon Musk, you know, is a big push onto our industry, believe it or not, because they made renewable energy sexy. And since they came into the game, more and more people have gone solar. More and more electric cars and vehicles are being sold. So I always tell people that the industry, what's changed is actually that now people are more aware. Why are they more aware? Now we have social media, right? Now we have, you know, iPhones, and everybody can basically be informed now through that. Where back in the day, you would know about solar because maybe you knew somebody that had solar, or somebody came to your house and knocked on the door, or was a friend that told you about solar. Now, anywhere you want to study about solar, you can see Google, you can see videos, you can see this, you can see that. You're starting to see that our industry is working. Our industry is helping people. Our industry is blessing people. And that's why more people are like, okay, I'm not the guinea pig. I'll do it. All right, I'm down. Oh, he did it and it worked for him. Oh, great. It's social proof. That's what's really helped our industry grow. Social proof.
Peter Braunwasser said, 15 years in the game. Whoa. I'm not the only one gasping. So, you know, obviously the 15 years have changed so much. Financing is a huge way. Just 5-6 years ago was completely different, but now it's a different ball game, right?
Financing changed the game. You know, you used to have to sell a system with a down payment, a minimum, you know, and that's when some banks started financing. But prior to that was a credit card or a check for the full amount. You know, so now that you can go to a customer and tell them that they can go solar for $0 out of pocket and pay less than what they're used to paying their energy company. I mean, it's a no-brainer, guys. If they say no, it's almost like, okay, let me start all over again. You didn't understand. All right. Because literally the only reason someone that's hearing about solar from you that doesn't go solar is because they didn't pass credit. Straight up. Because if they don't, it's because they really didn't understand it. It's a no-brainer, guys. A no-brainer. And that's why our industry is so wonderful right now. But we need to have the integrity of why we do what we do. You know, it's not just to put, you know, panels on people's roofs, because there's some people that we really can't service. There's some people that we really can't help, that by us putting solar, we're actually being a burden to them. You know, those are things that we have to really understand, that this is a business of integrity as well. Our intention is to have everybody go solar, but if you really don't see that as a benefit for that consumer, why would you put solar on the roof? Lead it with integrity, and God will bless you continuously, I promise you. Because the hardest thing is to walk out of someone's home knowing that they're willing to sign a contract, all right? But knowing in your heart that it's not a blessing or a benefit for them. So once you really become a man and a woman of integrity, and you're able to walk out of someone's house without having them sign a contract, and you know that they're willing to, I promise you that God's going to bless you with 10 times the business that you had before. These are tests that we all need to go through, but this is a business of integrity, and we all need to step up to that. And when we see that people are doing that, you need to be the one to call it out, all right? Because this is time for us to grow and grow in this business the right way.
I love that, man. I just know, like, it used to be one day it will make sense. And then if you're going to do it one day, you might as well start now. Now it's like you're saving so much money as soon as you start. What are you thinking? It's a big difference in what you're selling. But also, you know, comes with its negative. People take it easy, don't try as hard, they don't sell the whole presentation, they don't sell the future and all that good stuff. But I want to move along, get some more questions in, man. I only have a few more minutes of your time, bro. I really appreciate it. But I know that you're a serially entrepreneur, man. And I know you have other businesses, and I know they're green related. Can you talk a little about that, how that affects your solar part of your business?
So the reason we got into solar, like I mentioned earlier, my wife and I, we have an architecture and interior design firm based out of Miami, Florida. And starting the development side, we also have PG Green Homes, which is our green development side. We started going to green conferences, going to basically understand where that happened. And that's pretty much how solar occurred. We started from the development, business into the solar business. But apart from that, I also, have a real estate fund where we buy and we flip properties, and we try to put solar on them as well. And we try to, greenify them as much as possible. I like to call it. I also have a few e-com stores, Bitcoin fund, all kinds of things that we like to invest in and have fun with. And that all comes with wisdom and the ability, to be able to invest in the right areas at the right time. But yeah, being a serial entrepreneur obviously helped, as far as my credibility, and helped me fund, my solar business for a while until it became profitable. And now I'm blessed to say, and I tell people all the time, that I can say that my solar business now is becoming one of the most profitable businesses that I own, where it used to be kind of like my hobby, right? But because I've been able to be consistent, and because I believed in it so much, now it's just part of my everyday conversation. It's part of every design that we do, every house that we design, everything that we offer, we include solar in some way, shape, or form in my office now. So all my businesses, whether it's my real estate fund or it's my architecture or development, we're all including every green technology, imaginable, because we are part of Team Solution. Everything that we lead our signature with, I want it to be green. I want it to be something that left this earth a better place. So, apart from obviously the digital businesses, everything that I do is definitely green in mind. Everything.
Well, speaking of, what's that?
Go ahead.
So speaking of, your market, you're speaking of the Florida market. You said Miami. Is that your major market, Florida?
Florida is my major market. I have a home in Miami and a home in Tampa, and I'm back and forth. In fact, tomorrow I drive down to Miami, and I'll be there through the weekend working over there on some projects. My wife and I, we travel back and forth. During COVID, we decided to move to Tampa. Just, we felt it was better quality of life, but we kept our offices open in Miami as well, and we have properties there. So we just come back and forth, and Florida is my main market right now. Obviously, I have teams all over the nation. We have California, Texas, everywhere else, Carolinas. But right now, my focus is now I'm opening up. New Jersey is a big market that I'm working on. Connecticut, Pennsylvania. As you know, our company in Powur soon will have New York and Massachusetts as well. So we're going to be kicking some butt on the East Coast, and I'm doing events. I have an event there next Thursday in Princeton, New Jersey. I'll be out there preaching the gospel and creating awareness and helping people understand how they can join the revolution.
Awesome, bro. So I know that you're always on stage. Just bringing it up. You're going to be preaching again in Jersey.
Yeah. It's
not easy, right? Like talking in front of stage. Is it easy for you? Do you practice? Tell us a little bit how you take the pressure, handle the pressure on stage.
I almost believe that, it comes with obviously faith and confidence in what you're speaking about. When you get up on stage, whether you're a performer, whether you're a singer, whether you're a preacher, you're a speaker, whatever it may be, I really believe that, what you give out to your audience is the most important thing. And for me, yeah, we all get the jitters, we all get a little butterflies, a little nervousness, but I really believe that, I've learned that through affirmations and assertiveness, and to understand that I'm there leading with purpose, and focusing on that, understand that you're there to give, and for people to receive from you. So every time you get up on stage, just open yourself up to be that vessel, to whether you believe in God or the universe, whatever, to use you as that vessel to basically convey the message that the universe or God wants you to convey to your audience. And for me, I always, lead in prayer, but affirmations to me help so much. And everybody that I know, it's those things, I am able, I'm strong, I'm the best, I can do this. This is what God has called me to be. You got to pump yourself up. You're your number one cheerleader. And once you get up there, it's like perform, but you're going to see how, if you let yourself be a vessel, man, you'll start getting wisdom that you didn't even know where it came from. You'll be able to speak things that you didn't even know that you even had in your notes. But those are things that I really believe that when you allow yourself to be a vessel through spirit will bless you and bless your audience.
Do you have anybody that you looked up to, that you learned from, speaking influencers, or is it just all you got it from within you?
No, I grew up obviously in ministry, and some great preachers that I've known along the way. So many of them to name, but people that you guys may know nowadays, are the TD Jakes, the Joel Osteens. These are people that I learned from the way that they conveyed their message. One of my primary coaches and mentors, his name is Bob Proctor. A lot of you guys might know who Bob Proctor is from the movie The Secret. I hired Bob Proctor back in 2007 to become my personal coach. And to me, he's one of the best public speakers I've ever seen from stage. He's a better preacher than most, and he's preaching, the law of attraction, the laws of life. And what can I say? Those are people that I look up to. And I saw the way of how they preach. You got the Billy Grahams. There's so many people that I can actually look back to and say, how was it that they manage and control the stage? I study successful people, just like I study, the Napoleon Hills or the Carnegies or whatever. You study for whatever it is that you want to learn. If you want to be a real estate magnate, then whether you like them or not, study Trump, study people that have done great things here, regarding your business. And that's what I've done. Every time I've seen something or someone that just connected with me, I want to know more about. Grant Cardone, you can hate him or love him. I got to meet him. I got to, train with him a few times. He got to train my sales team a couple times. So those are things that we've done as well, connected with his organization and people that you look up to, that you vibe with, that you jive with, and you grab little nuggets from each one, and that builds you up. So I know there's a lot of in me that I can say from Joel Osteen, from TD Jakes, from Bob Proctor, from Grant Cardone, from people that I read in books. Those are all things that influence you, influence the way that you speak, the way that you act, the way that you basically project yourself.
Soak it all in, right?
Soak it all in. Soak it all in, definitely.
Man, you've had such a great history in 15 years and done so much. Like, what's next for you, man? What do you see next in the chapter of Luigi Leon?
And it's the preacher time. It's my ministry time. I've been building my businesses, and thankfully I've created, a great, financial standard. I'm never satisfied. Always be happy. Never satisfied. Dissatisfaction is where creativity comes. So understand that you can never be satisfied. I really believe as an entrepreneur, as a person that always is expanding and doing more. But I want to just literally speak more and more and more. I want to be able to be put on more stages to create more and more awareness. I want to bless more and more people. So when I look at the next, 5 years, 10 years, that's my goal, is how can I influence more? How can I be a bigger blessing than I have been so far? And obviously, 10x my efforts, 10x my businesses, 10x my organizations, 10x my message, 10x all the way. Just be better and better each day. And I know that God will open those doors. And here I am, just walking through them.
Man, I really appreciate you being on here and preaching the solar gospel, as we say. And so the climate change is so important. So before you leave, any message, any last thoughts, and how can anybody reach out to you also?
You guys can reach out to me via Instagram or Facebook. Look me up. Instagram, I'm the Mr. Prosperity. You'll see the logo of the Solar Preacher. Or Gilberto Luigi Leon. You can look for me also on Facebook, and we can connect. But the last words that I would leave with you guys is, guys, be consistent and be purposeful. All right, be purposeful. Understand that it's not always, like I've mentioned many times, not always about the money. The money is going to be a result. All right, think of the purpose first. Think of what you're doing and why you're doing it. And I promise you that God's going to continue to bless you financially. But walk in that. Walk and be consistent in the message, guys. It's time for all of us to stand up and grab the baton and say, you know what? I'm going to stand up to preach the gospel of solar. It's not just about me selling anything no more. It's about me actually conveying a message, creating awareness, and also closing the deal. So be a blessing to everybody you come in contact with. That is my message to you guys. Love you all. Much love and God bless.
That's so awesome, man. And the guys we're watching here, next week, we're going to have solar lead gen expert Josiah Atkins, who's also hilarious always. And he's with Prospect Bacon. So super excited to have him next week. But Luigi Leon, you are the man. Thank you so much. I loved hanging out this weekend. Loved having you on the show. I can't wait to see you again. Talk to you again, man.
Joe, it's been my pleasure, man. You know, I already feel you're my brother. Love you, man. Love what you're doing. Keep on spreading the message. Keep on spreading the word. Anytime I can come back and be of service to you and your audience, it'll be my pleasure. So again, I love, for y'all to connect with me through social media. Keep on watching Joe. He's, making things, the right way. And I really believe that it's just about creating platforms that can expand our message even more. So very grateful for you, Joe. Much love and God bless. You all take care.
Me too. Peace.
Let's
I'm
go.
going to take you up on that too, Luigi.
Let's go. Let's go. Much